Hi, folks. Kent Hovind here from Dinosaur Adventure World. It seems like you folks are waiting for Non-Sequitur to start. Maybe if you wait long enough, it will actually evolve into a good show. I'm sorry, folks. Looks like I need some water. Anyway, the Lord told me I needed to warn you folks that this podcast is full of crude humor, facts, and critical thinking. So if those things offend you, like they do me, now is the time to close out this window. But if you think elephants and pine trees are related, then hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you know every time this blasphemous channel goes live. Okay, I need to get out of here. You never know when Aron is going to make an appearance. Hovind out.
Well, Steve, you know that space, it seems to go on and on forever. But then you get to the end and a gorilla starts throwing barrels at you. If you can guess.
Donkey Kong.
Well, you're close. You're close. This was a good one that somebody sent in. So really think hard about this, guys. This was a good one. Welcome back to the show. We have a lot to get to tonight. So I'm going to keep the opening announcements very, very slim so that we can dive in head first. First of all, Steve, hello. How are you?
Hi, Kyle. I heard,
I'm losing my voice.
You are losing your voice, but I heard a guy was touching you today. I got in touch with you today.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Okay.
And we're going to get to that in a second. But yes, I am losing my voice, guys. I'm probably not going to talk very much tonight, so just bear with me if it starts cracking and I feel like I sound like I'm hitting puberty again. I'm going to be making actually like Kent Hovind, stopping every 5 seconds and coughing. Let's say hello to our guest, though. Returning, I guess he missed us that much because back the day after the night before last, Aron Ra, welcome back again.
Hey.
And then we got Bill. Bill, is this your first or your second time on here? You came to an after show, right?
I think it's my second time on the Non-Sequitur show, but I was on Steve's channel previous to that. So.
Yeah, that's where the big debate with Kent Hovind happened. Well, welcome, Bill Ludlow. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Bill.
Hey, Aron.
So I figured we would start tonight by going through a little icebreaker because Mr. Hovind, following our show on Sunday, has put out quite a few videos, mostly targeting Aron. But actually, before we do that, let's look at the fan art pictures. We on Sunday brought up the possibility of this non-superhero. Oh, look at the doggy. How cute! That's instant brownie points right there. No matter where you go,
he's always going to give birth to dogs, though.
Oh yes. Dogs will not produce non-dogs. So, Dave, will you put the pictures that we have? We're going to go through them pretty quickly. There's only a couple of them.
Man, you mentioned Hovind's name. That dog goes nuts. He's trained.
So these are the artist renditions of Captain Hovind. This one is from Emite, or Emit. I hope I'm saying that right. Emite. Then we'll go to the next one, Dave. Leon Francisco Furtado, and then I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that last one. They get increasingly more difficult. This one's very detailed, though. If you look at the penis that's floating above Captain Hovind's head there.
Oh, with a cross on it.
Yeah, but the best part about this one is the geologic the column in the cape. That's fantastic. All right, Dave. And then from Awkward Aces, here's Captain Hovind with all of these Captain Hovinds have Hawaiian print capes, which I think is great. All right, Dave.
Well, I like the text particularly. Shields of faith, because if you can't prove something, block it out completely.
Yep, they're impenetrable. And Caro Genie says, Captain Cunt, my cellmate wants some conjugal time together, and I kind of like it. Now I got to get out of here. That's actual footage of Kent as he was leaving prison. Actual footage. All right, Dave. We decided earlier that this looks like Ozzy. I hope you're watching. just take a long gander at that one from Lazar Lepac.
That's gay,
and
Ozzy, right?
Yeah, that's gay Ozzy. And I think we've got 2 more left here.
We got 3, but
Here's a black and white rendition, and that's by SBG. And then the final 2 are by Morgan J, the same person, and Kent Hovind gets memed. You can tell that is an aspen tree because that's what it is. I think that's great. And then finally, Dave, you'll have to read that because it's too small for me.
Yep.
I want to say, let me pull this up because it's pretty small here too. So give me a second.
With this medallion.
Well, this medallion says that's dumb, so we're not going to do that.
Sweet. As a metaphor for the Bible, I guess.
For the Bible, yeah, because that's what the art says.
Okay. So. All right. So before we get into the dirty goat heist, I wanted to spend a couple minutes on Kent Hovind's latest video, just to kind of go through it and see if he had anything of note to say. We've got it queued up, I think. We'll go through the first 5 minutes and then
you didn't tell me I was going to have to watch another one of his videos.
Well, it's I knew if I told you that, then you wouldn't come. So you would
have been by yourself.
Yeah. It's just only because he's talking about the show that happened on Sunday. If it was anything else, I wouldn't force you to do that. All right, Dave, let's throw that up there and see what he has to say.
A response on the NonSequitur show, 2 hours and 10 minutes or something. Somebody alerted me to that yesterday, and so I just watched a few minutes of it. I said, these guys need to go to school. So, fellas, the teacher's in. I'm here to help you. Let me show you what they said about my videotape that we produced. Steve, now, Steve, confess up here. You're the one who named it.
Yes.
You're the one who keeps putting doctor on every front of me. It's not me, okay?
That would be me.
That would be you, okay? So they say,
okay, hold on, right there. So you mean to tell me that he doesn't have the wherewithal to intervene with Steve or whoever's doing his videos and say, hey, maybe don't put things that could be misconstrued as me having potential doctorates that I don't have. That's out of his control.
We're sure that this guy, whoever it is that's off camera, is certainly the one who bought the name Dr. Dino 20 years ago as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's not even that old. Now, Steve is this tech guy. He's this computer guy because Kent can't figure out how to do anything. He's a Luddite. He's completely inept.
It's just a coward move to push it off on. You know what I'm saying? Like he's pushing it off on the.
It's not
the
just
guy
a
that's
coward move. It's also dishonest. We know that that's how he introduces himself all the time.
Yep.
Except notably the time that he introduced himself on your show to debate me. And I think somebody clued him that maybe don't open with that.
That would have. I wish he would have though. That's one of. If I could go back and
I was
change
counting
things.
on it. I was ready to jump on that.
Yeah. So all right, Dave, go ahead and push play. See what he says.
You pick the song, yes. Okay, I don't do any of that. I don't do the video editing. Wouldn't know how. Let me just play. What is it? About 2 minutes of their scoffing and mocking last night. Which it doesn't hurt my feelings at all, guys. I can handle all this stuff, believe me. So
yes, it does.
Let's see what that looks like.
It so does hurt your feelings.
You can't explain that, and that already refutes your mythic flood.
Mr. Nelson, I can explain it just fine. Certain fossils are found in certain layers because during any flood, just like our little sand toy that you hate so much, it sorts automatically by density. See, reptiles and birds have a different body density. So if a billion of them drowned in a big catastrophic world event like Noah's flood, the water shuffling them up and down, back and forth, moving around for several months, is going to automatically sort them where all the birds are on top. They have hollow bones, hollow feathers. That's why they're in the same layer, not because of evolution. It's because of hydrologic sorting.
He buys into this bullshit. How dumb do you have to be?
Yeah, and so he's not acknowledging that, of course, we have phytosaurs in the fossil record before we had dinosaurs, even though they're supposedly the same density. Mm-hmm. Right? And why did we have ichthyosaurs disappear before the mosasaurs appeared? Aren't they the same density? And how would that density affect why there are trilobites before there are major dinosaurs, or why there are any reptiles? None of that makes any sense. His excuse does not work. And nor does it explain how we still had crocodiles after that we were able to find in the fossil record. And while we had so many crocodilomorphs, again, that appeared before dinosaurs. So none of this makes any sense. He's just coming up with an excuse that will placate the people, that the uneducated minions that he has sitting in his office with him, the people who are donating the money so that he can continue running this scam.
Exactly. And Dave, let's just hear what he has to say in response, and then we'll close the video down. If you guys want to hear the full thing, you can go and check it out. I just wanted to briefly comment on his initial response. So let's just hear what he has to say back to our response, and then we'll jump into tonight's topic.
For the reason that birds appear before Tyrannosaurus Rex is because birds are lighter than Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah. And the reason that different species of forest...
Look, he's so angry.
Birds appear before. See, just their whole concept is this geologic time, this geologic scale means something. Question, Mr. Nelson. You guys have these geologic charts all over the place. You have the lowest layers, the next layer, the next layer, the next layer, the next layer. Where's this material coming from to keep building these layers? Is it coming from outer space and drifting down to the Earth? How do you continually get layers built up
Is he serious?
without adding new material?
Wow.
Okay, wow. So
you can take
why
it away
does
now,
this
Dave.
guy need to sweep his floor every so often? If he had a porch in a desert area especially, why would he have to shovel it on occasion after windy days? Because sedimentation blows in from one area and fills up another. This is why we have erosion in some places that end up being sedimentation in other places. And this is why, you know, sometimes you see the geologic column, you've got the same layers are available all over the world, but in some places they're eroded down, and we can tell that, you know, this is, we have an unconformity where we're missing a layer, right? Ludlow, am I right?
Absolutely.
You're
and it doesn't explain at all what we see. It doesn't explain at all what we see in the geologic column as far as sedimentary layers. I mean, forget the fossils, you know. You look at conglomerates, and you look at boulders found in upper layers, and you look at heavy material in limestone found above fine silt, you know, that we find in other layers down below. It just doesn't match hydrological sorting at all. I mean, like I said, forget the fossils. Look at the actual rock sediments, and they can't explain it one bit.
So when you have a layer of granite that is then overlaid
eroded
by limestone, for example. I mean, how long does it take limestone to fill it? How could you have all of these things sort out the way that he's talking about all at once, the way he describes?
It's impossible.
And how could you have an intrusion, you know, like a magmatic intrusion into limestone or any of these formations? Certainly that can't be explained by a flood.
One of the things with him tomorrow is going to be when he gets the messages that not just one but two of the people that absolutely demolished him in a debate were talking about him. That's just really going to drive him crazy. So I'm excited about that. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're one of Hovind's minions, the comments that you're leaving are just about the dumbest things that I've ever read in my life. So please stop. Spare yourself because as soon as you do that, everybody's going to jump in on you. And I've been reading and following along with these, and some of them are just sad. Like just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch. Even for me, it's not fun to watch. So, some of them are pretty brutal.
Yeah, so ever since I had this discussion with Captain Hovind, I've started getting the really lower intelligence comments on my videos, where we can tell that his collection of humanoids has discovered my channel, and they've gotten into the comment section. You can always tell the people that follow him. They're the least coherent comments.
Mm-hmm. My favorite is the hashtag Kent1. I see that every video he pops in, doesn't matter what it is, hashtag Kent1. And I'm like, you obviously aren't even paying attention to anything that's going on inside the video, because if you watch the video and you're honest and objective, there's no way you can come away from that thinking that he won anything.
Well, honest people don't hang out with Hovind.
Valid point. Speaking of honest people, I think Bill is going to tell us a story of a. Actually, he is tied in with Hovind, and he is a very honest individual, isn't he, Bill?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, before I tell the actual story, I wanted to, my debate with Ken Hovind was about 1.5 years ago. I still get messages from people. I still get, encouragement from people, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We lost you, Bill. Somehow your mic got muted.
Bill? Bill? You cut out.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear us. Hi, Bill. Can you wait, Y?
Roll it back. Roll it back.
A.
Aron, remember that technical thing I was telling you about before we went on? I told
so
you.
Well.
This is brilliant. He's still going.
He's not. Bill.
This reminds me of. I hate to compare. This
Bill.
is going to suck. I hate to compare, but he reminds me of Roid Rage Dell that continued to talk and talk and talk after Dave muted him and didn't
But I
realize.
have not muted Bill. I have not.
I know.
muted
I
Bill
know.
in
It's on his
any
end.
way.
It's hilarious.
Bill,
He's going to be so upset
Stop.
when he realizes.
Stop, Bill.
Wave off. Wave off.
Stop, Bill.
No mas. No mas.
He just refuses to quit. He refuses to quit. You know what? I like
He apparently can't hear us either, so I don't know what happened there.
No, or see us.
I like your commitment, Bill. I like your commitment, Bill.
Let me. I got him on Facebook. Hang on.
That's the thing about him, though. Like when he gets on a point, man, it doesn't matter if the whole ship goes down. He's going to be making his point. So look, he's still going.
Oh, he's going to be so mad.
Kind of sad.
Can we do voiceovers for him now? I mean, I feel like this is the only.
Hey, Aron, you know the story. Can you just relate it? Can you relate it as he talks about
my boat?
Oh man, that's too good. That's too good.
Boat.
Yeah. And you know what, folks? Before we started, we were all in the call early. We were. It was like 15 minutes to go. Everybody was in the call. We were just hanging out, and I made the comment. I said, "You know what? We're early. We're early. That's always a bad sign. Or always a bad sign."
I think he's looking.
You not
at
hear
us
me now? Oh.
Yeah, I think Bill has noticed that we can't hear him.
Yeah, it's clicking. It's clicking.
He's gonna be like, what was the last thing you heard? And well, it was thanks for coming on. Thanks for asking me to come on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm Bill Ludlow.
What was the last thing he said that we heard? Because that was a long time ago now, and I don't.
Literally, it was thanks for having me on.
Seriously.
Seriously. He didn't get it. He didn't get to any of his.
He was just about to tell us what happened, and then it stopped. Like literally, he was just about to start the story.
Steve, if you're in communication with him, tell him
I'm trying to
reset.
He doesn't see it. No,
Hit
he
the
doesn't
refresh.
see it.
Okay, we got a message. He's logged in.
The live chat wants you to just start, Aron, to just start speaking for Bill and playing 2 parts tonight.
So he stole my boat. I
Bill,
cannot see that on
click
my
that
screen.
icon.
Are we seriously? We're drawing cartoons for each other now.
Well, it's our. I think it's our safest form of communication.
Obviously, the hand signals didn't work.
While Steve talks to him, we can find out what Aron has coming up on his channel, if there's any, if he's got another part of the debate coming out or anything like that.
Well, no, that's the funny thing. See, Captain Hovind invited me to a 2-round debate. We each get two chances. You get 2 tries, I get 2 tries. So that's 2-round debate. That's 1 round is me laying out my evidence and his rebuttal. Round 2, me rebutting that and him coming in with his bullshit excuses. That's round 2. So Captain Hovind is still in his round 2, which he is never going to properly address, obviously. But he's now relabeled it round 3, which I never got a round 3. I only did round 1, round 2. So if he's in round 3, then I get a round 3, right? But now he's changed the labeling. So now he's in round 4. This guy called himself a math teacher.
It's funny because he blames you though for the not being on the same page on the parts, because he's like, well, he told me one thing and he's completely doing, and then he was pissed off because you told him that he needed to make his points more concise, I guess, and quicker, like he was dragging them out too much. In his last video, he's like, I will not be told how long I can make my points, and I will not shut up. If I have to go until I'm 80 years old doing this debate, I will do
Yeah,
it.
if it takes until he's 80 to avoid the points that I brought up, okay, then that's what he's going to do.
Steve, ask him if he can come in through Skype. That might be the best thing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't think he can hear anything. I think it's on his end. I don't think he can hear anything on his end there.
Yeah,
well, it's got to be
cut
his
out.
end. We were all still talking to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just cut out. Okay, so I can.
So
I
we
guess
at
I can
least we answered the question that Captain Hovind asked about where did all that material come from, which was a bewilderingly stupid question. And how can he say that the teacher is here? Okay, I'm here to help you, but he doesn't know the first fucking thing about any kind of sedimentation. He doesn't know that it comes from erosion in another location. He doesn't know that wind blows and dust accumulates. He doesn't know how this happens. Seriously, really?
Yep. There's a point that he makes, and you can tell me where maybe he gets this from, because I'm sure you've come across this before. But he's a big proponent of that. The floodwaters not only came from the sky, but that the earth opens up. And
well, they came from outer space, because he believes in the firmament, which we know doesn't exist or never existed. But he thinks that the firmament was like an ice sphere around the earth, which absolutely would have killed everything alive if it ever existed. But then he also believes in Walt Brown's hydroplate theory, which was one of the only creationist hypotheses that was ever formally disproved. And it was formally disproved. But of course, Captain Hovind isn't going to be aware of this. He's not going to, he does not learn. This is according to his own family. This is why he accuses me of not learning, is because he refuses to learn. While I'm in school to learn, and he doesn't go to school, he calls himself teacher when he never learned anything, and does not change his arguments no matter how often they're proven wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna guys figure out what Bill is doing. I'm gonna grab me another drink. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what the problem is. Oh, he can hear now. He can hear now. You can hear us. But we can't hear you. Okay. All right. One problem at a time.
Let's bring him in through Skype.
Well, now his mic's not working though, so it won't do any good. He's still talking though, but we can't hear you.
Does he? Bill, do you have another mic or another headset?
Okay, well, yeah, I got it. We got a head shake. There's communication there.
Is this what it'd be like if every contacted alien life and we were trying to communicate with them and they didn't understand the language?
It literally works perfect up until the time. This is Hovind's minions. You know this, right, Bill? Hovind's minions are behind this. They have to be. They did not want the truth out. But I think
Trump.
I know. While Steve continues to work with him, I want to bring up something that. Okay, so I'm sure I'm going to get flack for saying this, but there's a part of me that just I can't be okay with the situation at hand, and this is it's a drama-filled situation. I shouldn't even be getting involved in it because it has nothing to do with me. But around YouTube, you see things and you can't help but, especially with it surrounds somebody like G-Man. Now,
we bringing up G-Man?
Yeah, because okay,
we've already got Captain Hovind on here. Why would you? further complicate things.
Well, just wait till you hear. Okay, look, I mean, have a soft heart. I'm a softie, right? And even though G-Man has called me literally every name in the book and told me that I'm going to burn in hell for eternity for being gay and all this stuff, he got himself into a little bit of a situation, and he's been accused of breaking into. I'm sure most people know Shanny for Christ had her husband had a house in Pennsylvania that she offered to G-Man. G-Man moved from where he was in New Jersey, went into this place. He was fixing it up. He has pictures and stuff of him fixing it up or whatever. And then there was a falling out between the two of them, and over some video that he made. And so Shanny for Christ, for the past 3 days, has been making videos about how he's got to get out. She don't care where he goes. They're evicting him. It's a big mess. I mean, it's a huge mess. And like I said, I shouldn't even be putting my 2 cents in the middle of it anyway. However, and as bad as he is, and he is bad, and I'm not excusing him for being bad, but as it appears, it looks like the guy literally has nowhere to go if they are going to go through with this eviction tomorrow. So
I can lay out a cot by the birdcage.
Well, like I said, it's times like these, I think, that you're able to, even when somebody's been, I always go back to that Dr. Martin Luther King quote, hate can't drive out hate, only light can do that. Or darkness can't drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate can't drive out hate, only love can do that. And so I try to be that way. And even as much as I don't like him, because I do dislike him, and I think he's a horrible person.
Well, I mean, isn't that what you're going to hell for? Is this whole love thing? Apparently, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think you make a bigger example when in times like these. And as much as I don't like him, I don't want to see anybody just out, especially with it being February with nowhere to go. So I'm not saying I'm not going to say that you should go out there and help him out, and because he's got his PayPal thing. If you feel that you want to do that, I did. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Managed.
Holy crap! I don't know what happened. I was working perfectly up until I stuck. So sorry about that.
I can hear you. Yeah. So
what did you guys hear?
I donated.
What we heard
yeah, we heard. Thank you for having me on.
Okay.
I'm Bill Ludlow.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Non-Sequitur Show, Bill.
As soon as you started your long explanation, that was it.
Wow, you can hear me okay now, though, right?
Yes, you can take it away again.
Now, so
you can take it away
again.
again.
Try the whole thing over again. But keep in mind, anyway, if I start doing this.
Okay, I will watch you, Aron. All right. Anyway, right after the Hovind debate, I said I had a lot of comments. I had a lot of messages, things like that, good, bad. I wanted to read some of the kind of hateful comments or the typical comments I got. Some of these were messages, some were comments on the video. One guy says, why didn't Ludlow, evolution cult member, put lipstick and dress on his fantasy differing species pictorials? Liven up this nonsense a bit. It was the, wait till you're dead kind of thing. You won't get through to me, Bill, but guess what? One day you'll see Jesus and bow your knee. I hope you do it before then because it'll be too late. This one's a little strange. I think this Bill dude is a real New World Order puppet. And we'll see your theory if evolution is true when you die, Bill, and you stand before God Almighty. This woman was really upset. Yeah, this woman was upset. She says, he needs to repent. He sounds ignorant. Also lying on Kent and stealing his style and talking. I don't like evolutionists. My right. My right.
You speak coherently.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you say water, Bill?
Style.
How do you say water?
Water.
Water?
Not water. Yeah, water.
Water.
Yeah. This one is all one sentence. This one's all one sentence, but I'm going to go through it quickly. what you just did right there by telling Dr. Hovind he can't come and volunteer his time to do what you do, Bill, you just proved there's a conspiracy against creation scientists. With that attitude, you would have to qualify him. He's probably got 3 or 4 times the amount of education you got in science, okay? And what makes you think we, and we say we, who are the we? The mouse and you have in your pocket? I don't agree with what teaching your stupid country taxes the American people, and they pay people like you to teach the religion you were teaching, so don't say we when you mean you atheist government. That was one sentence.
Wow. Let's just clarify this.
Breathe.
Bill, I don't mean to call you out or put you on the spot, but just to be sure, because Captain Hovind has an unaccredited degree, and all he ever had. I don't think he's ever had anything equivalent to a master's degree, even from the unaccredited schools. I think he got an unaccredited bachelor's degree from a Christian school. So effectively, he has no kind of education at all.
Actually, he went to a community college for 2 years, Illinois State. He had no master's and no PhD level at all.
I don't have a degree. I don't have a science degree. I mean, I did attend college. That's kind of a long story too. And this idiot guy I'm going to talk about a little bit later called me out on that because I said that I studied anthropology and geology in college. Well, I did. I didn't declare a major till my 3rd year. I was kind of when I went to college, I had a 4-year competitive scholarship that I won in the state of Michigan, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. At the time, I was involved in a lot of other things, and I'm one of those guys that went to college because I had a free ride. And I went to college, and for the first couple of years, I took a lot of courses that were interesting to me. Anthropology being probably the most interesting. I had to declare a major by my 3rd year. I couldn't stay in college. I mean, they told you got to declare a major. I declared an English major at the time, thinking I was in love with fly fishing too. I knew some people who were living up in northern Michigan there who were guides in the summertime who made a living the rest of the year, and then they made almost as much money guiding fly fishing trips during the summer as they did for the rest of the year. So I thought I'd do that, but I continued to take some courses in anthropology and geology. And this guy makes it out like, well, you were an English major, you couldn't have taken courses in anthropology and geology. So, I mean, to answer your question, I didn't have a degree, but major, yes, and you can take courses in other things besides your major. So.
Yeah, the first time I went to college was as a fine art major, and I was taking classes in evolution then. So even though the education was completely unrelated to that. So Anyway, enough of that.
Sure. All right,
go ahead.
That's okay. It's a casual discussion.
Hey, Bill, do you mind if I while reading comments, funny comments from people, do you mind if I read one from the live chat now? This is from a Mr.
No, go ahead.
This is from a Mr. Intelligent Design. Although Kent Hovind has no clue on intelligence, so has Aron and Ludlow, but Kent speaks reality better than the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is no way that Mr. Intelligent Design believes his own bullshit.
No, he doesn't.
I think he does. I'm convinced he does.
We know better, Mr. Intelligent Design.
He can't.
Yeah.
He can't. He honestly can't. Nobody can be that stupid.
Yeah, well, every time you say that, we find somebody who is.
Right,
George Lee Jack.
Well,
George Lee Jack.
Listen to some of these.
Okay.
How about
Bodino, whatever the hell that guy name it was?
Oh yeah, Bodini.
Bodoni. Yeah, Badonky Donk.
Go ahead, Bill.
That's right. The next one was, the idiot is completely delusional and is pretending Kent doesn't understand what evolution is. This jerk is really delusional, pretending people don't understand his crazy childish stories. Here's, wow, this guy Bill sounds like an idiot. Ha 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 ha. Okay. The only thing Ludlow proved. Yeah, I read it verbatim there. Okay. The only thing Ludlow proved is that he's an elitist that is not capable of civil debate of facts. Every time Hovind zinged him, he responded with an insult. I don't know if he was watching the same debate, but typical rural countdown. What a bitter jerk. Mr. Ludlow and everybody like him is spending so much energy to show that God is not real. Satan is doing the same thing. Lucy was for sure a relative of Mr. Ludlow. The way Bill debates is straight up faggotry. He argues like a 13-year-old
Faggotry.
girl.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Bill acted like a total
Can you
jackass.
say
Completely lost
faggotry.
his
straight
cool.
That's
and
not
faggotry
faggotry.
in the same sentence?
Yeah.
How do you say those
I
words in the same
could, I
sentence?
could
Like,
see
it's a contradiction.
fuckery, but not faggotry. Like
There was
Yeah.
no faggotry there. I know
Go with
faggotry.
fuckery there. I know fuckery. So.
Bill acted like a total jackass, completely lost his cool. This Bill guy is as unlikable as Bill Mayer, Bill Nye, and Bill O'Reilly. Isn't primordial soup just sewage? Has Mr. Ludlow's ancestors then evolved from sewage? Ludlow is a brainwashed fool whose entire bait is based on a hoax. 4 million years human evolution. Ha 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 ha. What are you smoking, you moron?
They like to laugh, don't they?
Some of them, yeah, lots of ha-has. Some of the comments were actually pretty funny. This one was, Bill keeps human fossils were found with those fossils, but he doesn't say anything about all the animal fossils found that are walking around today.
Huh?
Okay, yeah.
I've never seen
Why
a
are
fossil walking
primates
around.
the only evolved species? Where are the lizard and bird races, like on Star Trek, if we've all been here for millions of years?
Races.
Evolutionists just showed how dumb they are. They say population evolved, not individuals. Population is consisted of individuals, idiots. It means that some individual in the population evolved.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not high enough for this. I am not high enough for this.
Yeah.
I'm not high enough for this,
Caucasian.
and I'm gonna do pot.
Caucasian are prominent with Nephilim DNA.
Oh, whoa! Now listen, listen. No one. You can't say the N-word anymore.
Figure it out.
You can't say the N-word anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you say it one more time, Nephilim free will pop up. We cannot have that.
Okay.
We cannot have that.
There'll be a stoning.
He pops out of nowhere.
This one's in all caps with about 15 exclamation points after it. Those bones are monkey bones, you idiot. Now, my favorite comment, though, is, wow, I can't believe I used to follow Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Christopher Gwynn. I was going back through and reviewing comments on my page and on Kent's page, and he answered back on about 50 of these people, defending what I'd said. And I don't know Christopher Gwynn, but I just want to shout out and thank him for all the time he spent doing that. So awesome job.
There's a guy named Infinity on our channel that with the Aron debate, when you have people that come in to leave comments towards Aron's points, Infinity is at every single one of those. I mean, and it's been going on since March, and this Infinity guy is still like going toe to toe with people on the set, on that video from last year. So good for you, Infinity, too.
Yeah, I got noticed that I made an announcement here the last time I was on this show that having finished with Captain Hovind and knowing that he will never submit to a second debate, because he suggested himself that when we're done with the first one, we'll do a second one. We know that he's never going to finish the first one, and we know why he's never going to finish the first one. He damn Skippy's never going to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one thing, it would be, my arrangement, it would be set up a lot better. So what I've decided to do.
Well, I've been trying to get. Oh, go ahead.
No problem. I made an announcement the last time I was here on the Non-Sex Show that I wanted to talk to one of Hovind's followers, and I did get a name of somebody that might be up to a discussion with me, and I'm looking forward to it. So somebody that uses the name Light of the Cross. So
you know it's good.
We're going to see if we can set that up, provided the guy ever responds. And I'm going to have a handful of questions for him that he can't answer, but should definitely be able to address. And we know he won't, but he should be able to address these. I just want to throw that out there and get you guys permission, since I've never mentioned it to you before. I can do this on my channel on the Why Do You Believe series, but I mean, I could just as well do it here. I don't know if you're open to that. We'll see what
Oh,
happens.
we would love that. We would love that.
Yeah, and
Whatever
if
you
this
want.
guy doesn't come forward, then that's fine. I mean, I will talk to any of Captain Hovind's other followers who think they've got something to present, and I'd be happy to deal with any of them.
Here's the funny thing about them though. You can call them out like that, and these people will come out in droves in the comment section and just leave comment after comment after comment after comment after comment. But the moment that you say, "Hey, why don't you come on and let's talk about it? Let's see if we can suss out what your point is, and see if you can point out where where we're incorrect." You don't hear a word from them. Not a word.
Yeah, that's been the problem that I've had. I've been offering this challenge for more than 20 years, that I will prove evolution to your satisfaction within a couple dozen mutual exchanges in some public venue. And I actually have a venue set up on the Phylogeny Explorer project website for that purpose, but I can use any other venues too, as long as I know that it's never going to be deleted or censored or whatever, as Christian forums tend to do. As a matter of fact, I left Christian forums for that reason. ChristianForums.com had a tendency of censoring the things that I would say, so I can't use them anymore. So I would go to like LeagueOfReason.com or something like that. But I've been offering this challenge for 20 years, and I make it all the time. But I've only had a dozen or so people ever take that challenge, and they've either buggered off immediately as soon as the thing begins, as soon as they realize, oh shit, he's actually going to present something, they run and they never post again. You never hear another word from them. Right, and they've got a week to respond, but months will go by. There'll be not another word. Or, and this is one of the simple rules, because this is an interactive experience, I have to teach you things. So we have to get you to acknowledge what the lesson is. Do you understand what I just said? Do you accept this point or whatever? But the rule is you can't repeatedly ignore direct questions. And every one of these people, with 3 or 4 times, I would have to repeat again the same question. Give me a yes or give me a no. Do you accept blank? Never happened. Will not answer. So all of the dozen or so people in the last 20 years that I've been doing this, I've only had a dozen people answer. Every one of them had chickened out and run away right early on in the onset, or they refused to answer any point or query. Period.
The medical community is actually putting that in the DSM 6. They finally figured out what that was. It's called bitchmade, #bitchmade. So that will be in the when the DSM 6 comes out. That'll be a new thing.
#bitchmade.
Bitchmade.
Did I hear you?
Bitchmade.
Mm-hmm.
Bitchmade was Bitchmade was started when I remember your good friend True Empiricism. Rocket Ronnie. Yeah, I did when I debated him. Right, I debated him on turbines and ATP synthase. Matter of fact, you had sent me a bunch of papers that I did use in my. I had 2 presentations that I did, and my presentations were so overwhelming to him. He literally left in the middle of the debate, and his words were, "quote I don't want to continue anymore."
It's called PowerPoint.
That's how devastated he was, and so people were making these memes, and I will find them because they're out there somewhere. I will find these memes, and they were all like Ronnie, just being a bitchmade, and they're all it was #bitchmade. That's what I
call Liam Neeson. Call Liam Neeson. He can find it for you. I will find these memes. I will hunt you down.
Any of the atheists in the audience are listening right now will understand this completely. If somebody were to come up to you and say that they can prove the existence of God to your satisfaction, such that when they present this case, you will be compelled to say, you're right, you proved your point, right? What honest person wouldn't accept that challenge? No, I've heard that challenge, but I've always been disappointed because what they give me is not something that would satisfy my satisfaction. I mean, what I get is logical fallacies. I get the fallacy of the argument from improbability. Well, what are the chances of life coming into existence by itself, or some other bullshit argument like that, right? That's the best that I've got, is that kind of bullshit where they're trying to reverse the burden of the proof or some other fallacy.
That's the best
But I'm presenting something where when I make my case, you will say, yes, that has convinced you. Yes, you're right. Evolution is real. Creationism is bullshit. Because as a periphery, I will also prove that creationism is based entirely on frauds, falsehoods, and fallacies. No takers. As soon as they realize that I've actually got goods to bring, there's a vacuum noise. Gone.
Bitch made. Speaking of bitch
You guys
made,
can still hear me, right?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. Were you
Okay, I just want
go
to make
ahead,
sure.
please.
No, it's okay. Someone that I was real loud and Aron wasn't as loud, and I tried to adjust my volume, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't turn off my microphone or something stupid here.
I think Dave can bring you down a little bit. Dave, can you do that on your end?
By the way, did we finish
Bring him down?
Hovind's question? I mean, he asked where the sediment came from, which was a stupid question even for him. But I want to make sure we didn't cut him off. Was it, what did we get the complete question, or was that it?
That was it. Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. He was happily boxed up and pushed away. So Bill, you had on the tail end of your debate with Hovind, and real quickly, is anybody else getting an echo? I'm hearing a little bit of a.
I'm not hearing an echo. I saw some people in chat that said they were getting an echo, but
I'm hearing a little
everything
bit of
I got is coming through my headphone and my mic, so I don't have anything playing through the computers.
Okay.
Actually, it's
I hear it too, but I
from you,
muted it.
Bill,
It wasn't
though.
me.
It is
Bill.
from Bill.
It's coming from me?
Maybe coming from the speakers.
I don't have anything. I don't have. Well,
it's okay. I mean, it's not anything. It's not too noticeable. It's fine. But what happened after you debated Kent Hovind? Because you attracted a little.
Well, you know what?
A bit of a.
Let me try to just. While I'm here, let me try to turn my microphone down just a bit because it might be picking up on my. It might be picking up on my headset. So hold on.
Yeah.
Properties, levels. It's only 36. Is that less there?
I don't hear it now.
Are you hearing?
I
don't hear it now?
I put a noise gate on you that should fix it.
Yeah, you're good. So
I'm good now. You can still hear me. Okay.
Yeah. So take us through the goat situation, Bill. What happened with after your debate with Hovind?
Absolutely. Well, I run a company called Dirty Goat Productions, and for the last since 2006, I had a band under that name, and in 2007, I started Dirty Goat Productions, which was I book bands for local bars. We have karaoke shows. I had open mic nights. I had a Sunday blues jam here in the Phoenix area for 7 years, and there was this guy in one of the groups called Gary Robikoff. And I'll say his name because it's public information. It's out there all over the place. And, he was just nothing special to me. He was somebody that, if you've been in any of these creationism Facebook groups or whatever, there's always that one guy who's really arrogant. And, they think that they can post a link to Answers in Genesis or, CMI or something, and they've won the debate. I mean, that's basically the kind of guy he was. Although he used to piss a lot of people off because he was, kind of cruel, kind of mean to people, arrogant. And so anyway, that's all he was to me. But all of a sudden, I mean, after this whole debate, I started getting messages from people that were like friends of his in some of these groups. And some of the groups he had were actually private groups where I wouldn't be able to see him, but they're sending me screenshots. So one of the groups, and I want to read this quickly. This is like one of the other admins in the group with him. This is what about the Hovind debate, and this is when it all started. He says, "My view is that Hovind didn't handle this very smoothly. Much to my chagrin, he will only talk about the delivery and presentation. Ludlow took it away. Much as I dislike Ludlow, Hovind let him control the questions and allowed him to get away with loose statements. I think Ludlow's presentation and delivery was clear, crisp, and to the point, while Hovind kept straying from the debate topic. Ludlow kept reminding him what the topic under discussion was. Ludlow also planned his presentation, keeping in mind frequently used lines by Hovind, who played right into Ludlow's hands. Irrespective of the facts, which we all know, the better man on this day seemed to be Ludlow, who to his credit did his homework. To Hovind's defense, I can only cite this as a bad day at the office since I'm a big Hovind fan, but he didn't bring his A game yesterday. He needs to pull up his socks instead of relying on oft-repeated lines and rhetorical catchphrases. I'm upset, to say the least, but I have to be fair in accrediting Ludlow for doing a better job. So this is a group of like really hardcore Hovind fanatics, fans, and they're conceding that I won the debate with him. Again, there were a lot of different things said. This guy said he was planning something and stuff, and people that were in the group kind of were concerned, and some, I'm not going to mention their names out of their own safety at this point. But he says he was planning something, and on March 25th, 2018, everything changed, completely changed. I logged on to Facebook that day, and there were 11 copyright claims filed against my business on Facebook. I have my own business page. I use my personal page with over 3,500 friends also to promote my business. There were 11 copyright claims filed on those posts, those promotional posts. Okay, I found out that on February 8th, he'd filed for a federal trademark and trade name on the logo that I've used for my band since 2006 and the name that I used for my business since 2007. Filed these with the federal government. The images that he used were stolen directly from my website at dirtygoat.com, were exactly the same. While I never registered my business name at the national level, it has been registered with the state of Arizona since 2007. At the time, I met with an attorney, and he told me, he said, you have a unique name, you're in a unique business. The chance of somebody else somewhere in the United States using this is really minimal. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to register this as a national trademark. He says, don't worry about it. It's just probably not going to come up. So anyway, every time I log on to Facebook now, I'm getting these messages. And if you've ever had something, Facebook has banned you or whatever, you have to log on, you have to, acknowledge this thing that, if you do this again, you're going to lose your account. So I'm being threatened at this point. I actually had to take down my Facebook business page for days in order to get this resolved. So he thought that 30 days after he filed this with the federal government, he was free and clear. But if you've ever looked at a federal trademark, trade name registration, it takes about 8 months to go through the entire process. So now in his groups, he started talking about how I had done really bad things. He accused me of doing hundreds of fake reviews on Amazon.com for creationists. I've done 2. One was on a Kent Hovind book. The other was on a guy named Troy Lawrence, a book called Origins, which I purchased and I have a copy of. He accused me of running a background check on him, sending porn to his relatives, and setting him up by having somebody pose as an author to interview him on his service in Vietnam. Now, it turns out he never was in Vietnam. But these things that he accuses me of, people may have actually done those, but he's pissed off an awful lot of people, and it certainly wasn't me. Until this time, this guy was like really nobody to me. He created multiple Facebook pages copying my business. So instead of just having my business page out there, there's 2 or 3 more with the same name. People I know started following the posts and liking his page. They thought it was me. He created copycat pages of my. Go ahead.
That when that happened with Facebook, and you obviously I assume that you explained to Facebook like what was going on. What's their response in that case? Like when someone's actively
well, initially they denied my request. Yeah, initially they said, you know what, you don't have because he's sending them a copy of his federal trademark registration, which is showing it pending, right? It's not showing that it's good. But to them, they're looking at it going, oh, okay. And they write back to me and they say, we don't have anything that shows that you actually own this trade. And so I had to write back and show them, look, I can verify that I'm the owner of the page that's been on your Facebook since 2009, okay? And I have it registered with the state of Arizona. Here's my website. So it took days, and there were a couple of other times where I had to actually pull down my page until it was resolved, just because the chance of them actually deleting it was pretty good. So he created copycat pages of my business on websites like LiveJournal, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. pages I'd never even heard of before, Gravatar, all these other ones like that. He started uploading a lot of videos about me, and some had to do with the business, not all of them. Some were personal attacks and things too. But he went to Vimeo and Daily Motion because I started getting them removed from YouTube. And he went to these other sites. Now, I can say one thing about Vimeo and Daily Motion, they don't mess around. I mean, YouTube, it's hard to get stuff removed. I mean, people can harass somebody on YouTube, and it's really hard to get those videos removed. But Vimeo and Daily Motion didn't mess around. You know, I sent them proof that I was the owner of the business, and bam, you know, they were gone. So, you know, I had to sit back the whole time and watch his trade name applications go through all these stages. You can't automatically, like 30 days after I recognized that he had done this, I couldn't automatically oppose it. You have to wait until it's published for opposition, which takes about 7 or 8 months from the time of the thing. So 7 or 8 months, he's coming after me. I couldn't really do anything until it's published for opposition. I did.
So you can't if somebody rips off your if somebody rips off your logo, right, and sends it in for a to get trademarked, you can't contact the trademark office and let them know what's going on, and they can't
there's no process for that until it's actually opposition, which is the very last stage. So you're correct. It goes through all these different review process.
But in the meantime, he has a pending trademark on your trademark.
Right. So that's the way it works. And you know, in the meantime, he's able to attack my business and send them this thing saying I own the name. And of course, half the people responding to this are just looking at it going, okay, he owns the name. You know, they don't realize that it says pending, you know, whatever the thing is. So he's able to get all these different things removed and attack my business that way, you know, while I'm in the middle of this, waiting for it to be published for opposition. In the meantime, I'm writing the opposition. You know, I actually wrote myself.
Aron, I'm surprised this hasn't happened. Anything like this hasn't happened to you. Seems like you would be a target for something like that.
Well, you know, Aron doesn't have Aron does this for a living. Aron doesn't have a separate business he relies on for income. I don't think, you know, that where they can go after that and independent of what he's doing.
Yeah, once upon a time, I did work in a corporate office, and I did have that conversation with my boss right toward the end, with actually my boss's boss's boss, and that didn't go well. And I could tell immediately after that I'm not going to be in this company very much longer. And in fact, I was right. I realized that I was about to be fired when I started my Patreon, and so I was able to leave that company and go into full-time activism, which was great because the last year or so that I was at that company, they had put in so many restrictions over what I could do. I mean, I used to take calls from customers while doing my slides, doing my research, you know, like composing the artwork that I'm going to use or doing whatever that I needed to do for the presentation that I was going to work on when I get home. But then the company changed their policies such that they monitor every damn thing, and I could never do a bit of work on what really mattered while I was at my job. And probably another reason that I was going to lose my job soon was because I told my boss that my job interferes with my work.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
What you did there.
Yeah, but fortunately, I was able to get out of that and make just enough that I could justify the change. But as I said, in the last year or so of that job, I mean, I had no ability to produce what I needed to do. As a matter of fact, I was in a hell of a lot of trouble because it took all my vacation time just to do speaking gigs. I mean, if I'm going to speak someplace on a Saturday, that almost invariably meant that I had to fly out on a Friday, so I had to take the Friday off. And if they're speaking, if they have me speaking on Sunday, then I have to take Monday off. And when I went to Australia the first time, I was in Australia for 2 days. It took 2 days to get to Australia. And then I was at the event for 2 days, and then it was 2 days to fly back. All of it Monday, by the way. I got a 48-hour Monday.
Wow. I didn't think Australia existed. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
And I tried to jump right back into work as soon as I got back, but you stay up for a 48-hour Monday and then go into work.
That sounds like a good name for a band. 48-hour Monday.
Yeah, done that.
So they looked at the number of days that I was missing for all these speaking gigs, and they realized accidentally while doing a reprimand interview with me that I had already exceeded the number of days by which I could be terminated by 2, but it wasn't their plan to terminate me at that moment. They had done their math wrong, and then they clicked the thing, and it shows that I'd already missed 8 days because of my vacation, and like they were only allowing 6. And I'm like, oh fuck, what do we do now? We can't fire him on the spot.
Got him.
Yeah, it was a funny time. It was a funny time working at that place. I remember when I had to ask for time off to do a Darwin Day presentation, and they freaked out because
I lost my audio.
What, you lost your audio,
Bill?
No, have I lost my audio?
No, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I just want to make sure. All right, my internet blipped off and on again, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So I had to ask for extra time off to fly to Ireland at one point. I said I was going to be sharing a stage with Richard Dawkins, and my boss turned to me and said, "Is he the one in the wheelchair?"
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No, boss. Come on now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm glad that I'm out of that now. I don't have Ludlow's situation. You know, I'm full-time activism now, and it's a much better situation.
Right.
Bill, how much did that affect your business? I know you're going to get to the what wound up happening with that, but how did it affect your business during the meantime?
I don't know that it really affected my business an awful lot. But it affected my state of mind. You know what I'm saying? It affected me personally because, imagine waking up every day for a while and wondering where the attack's coming from next. You know what I'm saying? That was the crazy thing is that, you think you got it under control, and then all of a sudden, bam, he's over here. He's on, other video channels. He's doing this. He's posting your business name on this site. He's doing that. You get one Facebook phone page taken down, and then another one pops up. And on those phony pages, he's saying things like, I stole the business name from him back in 2000 in Michigan, where I grew up. I hadn't lived in Michigan since 1987. Just crazy stuff that he was saying. So, I had all this time, like I said, to respond. So I wrote the opposition myself based on some templates that I found on the internet. But I did go to a lawyer, an intellectual property lawyer, and I had it approved. He read it through it, made a couple suggestions in that, and did it. So I finally was able to file in August of 2018. And then one of the things in there that he had claimed that he'd been using the name and logo since 2000, but the image that I was using for the logo didn't exist until 2005. I purchased it from an artist in California. What's the name of the website? I can't think of the name of the website, but it's a real popular. DeviantArt. Yeah, DeviantArt. And I had just done a search for Dirty Goat or whatever. I was coming up with my band name to see if people were using it. And I came up with this image.
Google it, you'll get something completely different.
Oh yeah,
I found that the hard way actually. Yeah, it took me to a whole different URL that I don't ever want to see again.
Yeah,
I cleaned my history like 5 times near the cache.
When I came up with this logo, this image I thought would be really cool for a logo, I did the right thing. I contacted the artist, and so I have a contract from 2006 and the receipts from 2006, where I purchased this image from the artist. And here he says he's been using it for 2005. Well, in this opposition, I actually presented evidence that with a signed affidavit from her, where she says she didn't create it until 2005. That was in the opposition. So,
How'd that go?
Again, people that he didn't respond. He never responded. So again, people that were in his groups were sending me message about what was going on. At one point, he claimed he was fighting demons, and then he prayed to God about this, and the message was take him out. So
whoa.
Yeah, take him out. And I actually got the FBI involved at that point, out of concern for my own safety. And, they assigned it to an FBI agent in Minnesota. But if somebody doesn't make an actual, like, physical threat, I mean, if he said he was coming after me with a gun, okay, they would have arrested the guy. But take him out, could mean attack his business. It could mean whatever.
Oh.
And, so at that point, it still remained a civil case and not a criminal case. So he made up this phony cease and desist order, and he started posting it on my Facebook pages, and different things and different groups and stuff. The really disturbing thing about this was, again, these are some hardcore Hovind fans that were in this group with him who were talking about right after the debate. Some of them started helping him with it. Not only helping him, but encouraging him and cheering him on. So, and I explained this, and I have a video premiere about this at 9 p.m. my time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my own channel, the Bill Ludlow channel, where I actually kind of identify and show some screenshots of what was going on. They said they were laughing about it. There's a guy that regularly posts Bible verses like every other day in one of these groups. Well, this guy was some kind of web designer. So this Gary Robakoff buys the domain name dirtygoatproductions.org, where I have dirtygoat.com. And this other guy that posts these Bible verses every other day helps him design a website that imitates my business. So,
they're doing the Lord's
now
work,
that website...
Bill. They're doing the Lord's
exactly.
work.
Well, now that website, they changed it. After the lawsuit, they changed it, and it shows Genesis chapters 1 through 10. So that was kind of interesting. It was a little poke back at me, I think, So.
You what wound up happening with that? Because you did take him to court, and that was settled, right?
Right. I accused him of fraud. And throughout the opposition, I accused him of fraud. And fraud against the United States Patent and Trademark Office is defined as any person who shall procure registration in the Patent and Trademark Office of a mark by false or fraudulent declaration or representation, oral or in writing, by any false means. So they also can be liable for civil action because of that. I clearly accused him of fraud in it. And what happened was he walked away. He tried to file a withdrawal, and he tried to file a withdrawal, but there were two separate cases, two separate judges, two separate people assigned to it, one for the trade name and one for the trademark. Now, I filed the opposition on both, which I had to. Had he responded in a normal matter fighting it, it would have been combined into one case, but he didn't do that. He filed a withdrawal attempt onto one. And because he didn't have my permission, it says you have to have permission of all parties involved to withdraw. They actually rejected his withdrawal and gave an automatic judgment in my favor on that one. The other case, he didn't respond. He just walked away. And what happened then is the opposition was sustained. Okay, that means I was granted. I was the victor. The opposition was sustained, and his request was denied. Now, he denies that he has this judgment of fraud against him, but when the opposition contains allegations of fraud throughout, and the opposition is sustained, well, yeah, I mean, you're guilty of fraud, and walking away from it doesn't absolve you of the guilt.
They deny reality. So, I mean, it's like...
how could a Hovind supporter be guilty of fraud?
Right.
Right.
Unless they really emulate their
There's a precedence there.
Or deny reality.
There.
I don't have any judgments against me.
Yeah. One of the craziest things.
If you're having trouble with the name of your band, I just want to tell you, we're not using this name. We came up with this name for this band that we formed for a battle of the bands in the 1980s in New Mexico. Right. It wasn't a great band. We were doing a battle of the band with like one John Volpe tune to a punk rock rhythm, which would have been really great, much better than the original, I think. But our band name was Brillo Tampon.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You know what's funny, Aron, is that, you remember the picture that you and I took, Aron, at the Arizona Museum of Natural History? It was you and myself, and what was the guy's name? He's I can't remember his name, but he's
the
from
Arizona
Tucson.
Director of American Atheists. Yes, in Tucson.
Right.
And,
yeah. The three of us took a picture. Well, this same guy that I'm talking about, Gary Robakoff, he did a really bad Photoshop where he put these big sombrero hats on us and called it the Three Amigos or whatever like that. I did a little joke on it where I turned it black and white and used some stylized letters, real jagged stuff. And I said, I'm forming a new band called Lucy's Feet, because Lucy's Feet really pisses the creationists off every single time. So you and I are in a band called Lucy's Feet right now. It's a metal band. So,
the ironic thing about this story is that these people are the same people that will sit around in a circle and hold hands and claim that they have the moral high ground on people who don't have a belief, people who don't have, that don't get their morality from an ancient book. They look down on us, but yet they're sitting around stealing people's logos, photoshopping them in things. Those comments that you read, the faggotry one. I mean, they're obviously bigots. It's so laughable. They're a bunch of hypocrites.
It is. And the really crazy thing about this was that would have been the end of my story that I was going to tell you. But just a few days ago, I went to verify something. I went to the USPTO website, and I did the trade name search again on Dirty Goat Productions, and I noticed he just did it again. There's a third application now. There's a third application. And for the same business name as me, it was just filed on January 2nd. And what he did was he took an image of a bighorn sheep that's slightly different from the one that I use, but the same name, Dirty Goat Productions, right? You can go to the USPTO website right now and you can look at this and see it. And I did an image search on the image that he used. It was taken from Shutterstock.
What a garbage.
Now they advertise royalty, but they advertise royalty-free images, right? But you have to be, number one, a member of Shutterstock. Number two, their terms of use, their legal agreement says user may not use the visual content to violate the trademarks or other intellectual property rights of third parties or to cause claims for misleading advertising or unfair competition. It
Bill,
says user may not.
You don't have to make a case that I don't think that he's going to do something nefarious. I think it's. I think you have well proven your point that he is not going to play by the rules.
Well, this is the clincher right here. It says the user may not use any visual content in whole or in part as a corporate trademark, service, or logo. So even if he's a member of Shutterstock, he just violated their agreement. He's guilty again of intellectual property theft. And I've already noticed them. I've already notified them. I notified them. I've already heard back from the legal department this morning, and they're on it. They're on it. He's not going to be fighting me this time. He won't be fighting me this time. He's going to be going up against Shutterstock, and they have a lot deeper pockets than I do. So
here's the shitty part, though,
for
Bill.
a guy,
you'll be dealing with this. You'll be dealing with this for a long time because assholes live forever. That's the one thing I've learned out of life is that assholes live forever. So.
Yeah.
What is like the end goal?
This guy, I think there was a song that said "Only the good die young."
Yep.
Yeah, that was. Oh wait, who was that?
I don't know, but I'm thankful that I'm not dead yet. It must mean I'm an asshole too because I'm 30 and you're.
I think
Billy
Joel did the remake.
Right?
Did he do the original?
This guy. I don't know. I think so. But
what's the
for
end
a guy,
goal for
this guy
is,
well, he's claimed for years now, I guess, that he has an IQ in the top 0.05%, half of 1%,
just like Hovind.
But he's a lot of mistakes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what the end of this is, I don't know. I really tried to ignore him. After I thought everything was done with this, I really tried to ignore him. Now, in addition to this, he's come after me personally, he currently has at least 12 YouTube channels where he keeps uploading these videos over and over and over again. And even in the video that I have that's going to premiere here in about 45 minutes, I don't mention those channels or the names of the videos because I'm not giving them publicity. He came after with a museum where I volunteer. He posed as a museum employee and wrote to Michigan State University, where I went to school, and tried to get my transcripts because he was going to prove to everybody that I never took any classes in geology or anthropology. Right?
Okay.
Well,
That's
all
scary.
they're going to tell you, yeah, oh yeah, all they're going to tell you is your last the years of it that I attended and my major, my last major. That's all I can do without my written request. Well, he wrote to the museum where I volunteer, sent them a message with one of his fake profiles, telling that I never studied geology and anthropology. And they're like, they looked at this thing, and in the thing that he sent them, it says right in it, I work for the museum and I'm trying to get information on Bill Ludlow and blah 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 in the message. I mean, he just like totally exposed himself as lying in the message that he sent to them. They never did that. He's not very bright, but I mean, eventually something, hopefully he'll end. Somebody will get him some help. I tried to reach out to his sister at one
Mac
point
Truck,
and send her a message saying your brother needs mental help, and she blocks me, going, "You're this crazy atheist person." It's just weird. I mean, I hope he gets some help. You see, he needs mental help. So.
On the flip side, though, Bill, at least you know this. At least you know that you wrecked Hovind so badly that this was the result. That's at least a point in your favor.
Again.
Yeah, I gotta give you credit in how well you did against this con man. You and King Crocoduck also did spectacularly well. But I'm going to brag for a moment because I did more damage to that man's colon than I think anybody else ever had.
I'll agree with that. But Bill was a close second, though. Bill was a close second.
Yep. So we ought to come up with a club. People who whooped Kent Hovind.
It's the oh man, we can. So it's got to be something with Dr. Dino, the Extinction Club.
There you go. I got him to admit two of his claims were wrong about 3 years ago. 3 years ago it's been. So does that count as whooping his ass that he actually has recognized that he's not going to use two claims any longer? Because that's rare.
I don't know because I brought up the mammoth claim. I think I brought that up too during my debate with him. Isn't that one of the things?
Yeah, because I brought it. Yeah, because when you had debated him about debate. Yeah, when you had debated him on my channel that I moderated, which by the way, I'm surprised they don't come after me. Right? I've been moderating. I moderated the King Crocoduck debates. I moderated your debates. I moderated Aron's debates, and yet these people don't come after me. I don't have the Hovindites coming after me. It's weird.
You don't make a decision on the matter, though. So he considers you in his camp.
Well, the same group of people have a group about Aron Ra. They have a group about Aron Ra on Facebook. And I think I sent again, I'm not going to mention it because I don't give publicity to it, but I think I sent Aron a link a while back. They created a group about Aron after his debate with Hovind. So you can't tell me it doesn't have anything to do with the debate with Hovind. As soon as Aron debates him, these same group of people throw up this group about him talking about Aron Ra.
The Cunt Koresh Colonoscopy Club.
But I mean,
that is from
Spud. People, young inspiration is absolute bullshit. They should be coming after me.
Spud Muffin
for that.
Congratulations, Spud Muffin. You win the night there.
So I want to mention again that since Cunt Hovind will not face me again for obvious reasons, then any of his followers, you guys nominate your hero amongst you. And then y'all pick whoever is the most confident of you, and let's do a public format thing. We can do it on my series for Why Do You Believe, where I try to reason with people who hold irrational beliefs. Or we can do it here, or maybe another format as long as it's not Christian forums or some other place where it might be deleted. I need to be able to make sure that there's a copy that's going to be left up there, verbatim. Unedited.
I think we could do. We could probably do both, Aron. I think we might be able to get more than one person to come forward, and then you could do one on your your podcast, and then we can.
I'm
we can do
completely
one.
open to that too. If somebody wants to face me on my own channel, or if somebody wants to come forward on this one, but what you always end up with is somebody that can't get their camera to work or whatever. They can't show their face for whatever reason. And what I really want to do, is get somebody that I want. The thing that creationists do not have, and the thing they run away from the worst, is accountability. They don't want to have to put their name in a public venue. They'll argue with me in the comment section for video, because that'll be lost by Saturday. Nobody will be able to find that anymore. But I'm talking about having a link people can share, where you've had to stake your name and your reputation on this claim that you're making, and now you're being forced to back that shit up. And in a live discussion, you can make a lot of insinuations, assertions, or whatever, and you might be able to duck and dodge quite a bit. But in a written debate, you don't have that option. And so I would actually prefer that it be in writing, but I will do it. I will do it in a format like this, in live video. It would be better to do it in writing, but I will do whatever it takes to get these cowards to come forward and put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. They just don't, because they are cowards. They want to pretend, they want to make believe something they know isn't true, and they know it isn't true, so they know they damn sure cannot test it.
Didn't you do that with Christian? Remember that after show where you came on here? It was after, I believe it was after Jensen and Dr. Mays.
Are you talking about the redheaded kid?
Yeah, didn't you get into something like the red?
Oh yeah,
part with him?
He actually showed up. He showed up and buggered off. He made a post or two. I think he made one, maybe two posts in that discussion, and he was gone.
Why?
And it always happens that once people come into these formats, my favorite ones are, like I said, are the written formats, because then you have a chance to research and show the data, so that when it is different than making a live video discussion like this, where you just assert whatever. Well, do you know that they found? Well, instead of saying they, you have to actually show the documentation of what you're saying is correct. You have to show me the reference of what you're talking about. These people can't do that, and they know they can't do that. So immediately they know that they come up empty-handed, and that everything that they believe in is made up. It's all fabricated, frauds, falsehoods, and fallacies, and that's it. And it goes away.
Christian seemed like he was he was strong-willed when he was in here.
Yeah, he was. But go to League of Reason leagueofreason.co.uk, and then look at the most recent posts that I was involved in, and you'll see where he showed up and fled in moments. Now, these are written discussions, and so for people who follow Hovind will not have the attention span or the comprehension to be able to follow those type of discussions, and there's a problem there, I realize. For entertainment value, we've got to do it in live discussion and video, and I'm open to that. It's not the best format, but as I said, we're talking about people who barely read and don't comprehend, so it's probably better to do it on their own turf and do it in live video like this.
Yep.
Since Hovind can't do it, because he is nothing but a fraud, and he knows it, and there's no way he can hide that fact once in a real-life confrontation with me, then let's get up some of his followers who somehow think they can defend their hero, Captain Hovind.
It was his idea, though.
Let's see if any of them. Well, I'd like to see. I'm going to bet you. I will bet you that within 1 month's time, we still will not have had anybody who follows Hovind actually come through on this. They certainly will not have accepted my challenge. That's for damn sure. And that is only in writing, because I have to be able to prove to you by being able to show you the illustrations, the documentation, the charts, the graphs, the data, and the links, so that you can verify that everything I just said is true. And then you have to verify that what you just said is true. And nobody, the thing that creationists hate the most is the burden of proof. They absolutely hate that. If they can't just make their shit up on the fly, they're done. And that's the problem with all of these debates.
Speaking of that, there's somebody that says that right now he's in the middle of writing that challenge to you.
Writing. Say it right. Writing a science book
for the phylogeny challenge. I cannot talk too long, but I want to finish the book so I could share it with Aron and you. So he wants to pop in and tell you how his writing to the phylogeny challenge is going.
Oh, don't do that. No, don't. We can't do that to Aron.
Oh, wait. You've got somebody that's going to take on the phylogeny challenge?
Yeah, he's in the middle of writing it right now, for real.
It's somebody.
Is this going to be the first time anybody ever tried? Is this going to be the first time that anybody ever actually addressed the phylogeny challenge? Because I've seen other creationists who say they've answered it, who don't even know what the hell it is. Still,
he says he does. No. He says he does.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
We'll find out in a minute.
I guarantee he won't.
I will take a month off YouTube if he writes a science book and actually addresses and gives a good example and it takes the phylogeny challenge properly. I'll take a month off.
What are you gonna say, Bill?
Of my own channel.
I was just saying, you talk about people that won't address a challenge. Kent's son Eric is got a big movie coming. He did that 3D Genesis movie here a year ago or so that took him 4 or 5 years to make and raise enough funds for it. But he finally came out with that one. Now he's doing one on the Grand Canyon, and that happens to be one of my areas that I probably know more about than I do about human evolution. So I tried to challenge Eric Hovind into doing a debate on whether Grand Canyon was formed by a global flood or not, and I haven't had much luck. There was a guy named Kevin Conover who is a radio talk show host out of San Diego who has an AM and FM station, and I found out about this guy because he has put out like these online courses for creationism, for young earth creationists, and I've taken a lot of online courses over the last 2 or 3 years through Coursera, EDX and stuff, and I saw an advertisement one time when I logged on to Coursera. I was looking for courses. It was like, and I went, whoa. And so I did one video on there called what was it, Creationist Online Course on Evolution Part 1. I responded to it on my YouTube channel, and then I actually wrote to the guy, and we had an online 42-minute online discussion on his radio channel, and this is back about a month ago, and on the age of the Earth, because I gave him he could decide the topic. So I thought the discussion went really well. He never uploaded it to his YouTube channel. It's not on his website. He evidently somebody gave him some advice. This one didn't go well for you. So, and I was real cordial with the guy. I mean, I was like killing him with kindness, but saying, you know what, guy, I mean, this isn't right. Well, anyway, it turns out this guy's good buddy with Eric Hovind. So I wrote to him, and he's trying to set something up for May here at a university in San Diego, where I do a live debate with Eric Hovind on whether or not the Grand Canyon was formed by.
Wait. So, you're going to debate with Eric Hovind?
Live. That would be cool. Yeah.
That's even better.
I don't know that it's going to happen. This guy says
Eric has all of the stupid of his father, but none of the talent.
None of the charm. Exactly. Yeah. I don't think Eric actually believes it. That's the problem with Eric. I don't think he actually believes it. I think Eric's going through the motions. I think he realized once Daddy was in prison, there's some money to be made here, and I think he goes through the motions. But I want to make a request. I don't think he really believes it.
I want to make a request, Bill. You were talking about the Grand Canyon. And if you are going to be meeting with other people with any geological expertise whatsoever, like say if we can get involved, Eugenie Scott, for example, I will pay to come down there myself and make that documentary with my equipment to I just want to do that rebuttal of creationist claims.
That would be cool.
On the Grand Canyon. I want to have a handful
I've
of
actually talked to
geologists. Mm-hmm. I would love to.
Well, I've actually talked to.
Go ahead.
No, I was looking for a book here. Ken Wolgamuth. I don't know if you know Ken. He's an old Earth creationist. He's an actual geologist, and he wrote the book Grand Canyon: A Monument to an Ancient Earth. Okay, and the book is written by all the authors are Christians, but they accept the age of the Earth. and they accepted the Grand Canyon wasn't formed in a few days following a flood. So I have talked to him about actually appearing with me and talking with Eric Hovind and this Kevin Conover, kind of the two of us against the two of them to sue it. And one thing it would be, I'm an atheist, and also have appearing with an old Earth creationist against these two young Earth creationists. So
I would be happy to leave you.
Too.
I would be happy to leave you in a command position on this documentary. I just want to be part of making it.
That'd be
Sure,
cool, actually.
Bill.
I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, I'm right here. I was looking for the book.
Please,
if you guys ever get a
please
chance,
make that happen.
Yeah,
I want to actually hear from these creationists that you're talking about, these old Earth creationists, and have them included in that documentary. That would be spectacular.
Sure.
I want to be part of that. Please help me. Please let me be part of that.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, we'll talk more about it, because this book right here, I mean, this is a book written by Christians, okay? Written by Christians who are geologists. And it's an amazing book. Not only does it explain how the Grand Canyon was formed, I mean, the current hypothesis on it, it also talks about all the arguments against it and why they're wrong. And it comes up with some newer things that I wasn't even aware of. And I have this one is signed by 7 of the authors right here. So it's a really good book.
You and I have got to work together on this. I'm begging here, please. Let me be part of that project.
You mean there's nothing to Kent's theory that the flood, the power of the floodwaters would be able to carve out the Grand Canyon within?
Not even mainstream Christianity accepts that crap.
Right.
The majority of Christians in the world, if you're taking globally, most Christians are evolutionists, and most evolutionists are Christian.
Well, we're waiting. We're going to give that guy a couple more minutes if he wants to come in. Until he comes in, I'm going to start on super chats just in case he doesn't. We can just go ahead.
Bill, I'm going to hound you about this idea because I think it's a great idea, and I want to be part of it.
Awesome. I'd love to work together with you.
And you're going to still be in charge of it. You'll be the administrator. You pick all the people. You make all the arrangements. I'll just be there.
You got it. One of the things that I'm doing right now is I have a 5-year permit with the federal government to study pre-dinosaur reptile tracks in the Coconino Sandstone. So to me, I'm going to the New Mexico in 2 weeks to meet with the curator of paleontology there, who I've worked with twice in the past doing excavations. And we're working on 2 different papers on the tracks that I discovered. And I've actually discovered 90 sets now of 270 million-year-old mammal-like reptile tracks in the Coconino Sandstone here in Arizona.
Oh, so that reminds me.
To me that's my area of expertise, really. And again, as a non-scientist, as a citizen scientist, I'm not claiming that I have a degree in that.
I know a guy here in Texas. I know a guy here in Texas who's discovered a handful of dinosaur tracks on his own land, but people don't take him seriously because even though he's made the plaster cast of and everything, he happens to be the founder of the Church of the Subgenius, the Church of Bob. It's just that he owns acres and acres of land by Glen Rose, Texas, that has actual dinosaur prints on it.
Oh shit! I hear Glen Rose, Texas, and I'm thinking Biloxi all over the place.
Yep.
Let's see. Gloria Wright says, "Well, I bet $10 that the show would start smoothly, and it did. So here's your money." Until you must have did this very early.
Until I lost my whatever it was. I don't know what.
Bill is that what happened tonight is right within sync of our show. There has not been one show that we have done that has not had some kind of technical issue. It's just part of our charm. It's part of what you get.
I was upset at that
too.
Go ahead.
I was upset at that, Bill, because I could see you were. I could see Bill going off and gesticulating. He was very passionate about what he was saying, and nobody could hear a fucking thing.
You committed.
This is going down.
You committed. This is a question for Aron from Vegan Cap Libertarian. They ask, who was the most infuriating person you've ever debated, and who was the most irrational? And would you ever debate this these people ever again?
Well, I have a different criteria for what a lot of people may think of as debate. I mean, I did the video exchange debate with Hovind. I will consider that part of debate. What we did on the NonSequitur show, I don't consider a debate. Some people say under the same criteria that I did debate Ray Comfort, and I'll go ahead and accept that. Ray Comfort and I did argue. It certainly wasn't a formatted debate, and he was completely irrational and deliberately dishonest, which always irritates the hell out of me. When you are visibly, deliberately dishonest, why am I even messing with you? How does not everybody else see that? It's always irritating to me. I've had more arguments with people trying to set up debates with me than I've actually debated, where those were more irrational arguments. People trying to Nephilim free, for example.
He said it. He said it.
There's the third time.
I did. He insists that I'm scared of him. He wants to do a debate with me so bad so that he can pull himself up by my bootstraps. He knows, and I've called him out on this, he knows no one would pay to see me debate. Well, they would probably pay to see me debate Nephilim free, but nobody would pay to see Nephilim free debate me. Nobody's going to have him represent their position. He's just some weird, crazy person. Nobody's going to pay for that. That's not a debate. Getting on live video and listening to somebody scream at me irrationally is not a debate. You have to be able to present points and defend your position. He can't do these things. Now, for whatever reason, because I mentioned his name on the NonSequitur show some months ago, he made a video stating that he was ever present in my mind, or somehow that he had already mastered me because I mentioned his name, because I was looking for an example of who is the biggest loser I could think of. And his name came up. And so he thinks he's won somehow.
Yeah. No, he's a pariah these days. Last time he went on air, and by the way, I will confess this for the people that don't know, Nephilim Free was off air for an extended period of time. And the reason why he was off air is because he literally could not figure out the Google Hangouts properly. He couldn't figure out the encoders. He couldn't figure out any of that stuff. And the only people that are offering to help him were atheists. No theist in his group bothered to ask to help him. Nobody. And he didn't trust the atheist enough to let the talk about his channel, because he thought that they would take it over, right? Now, Nephilim Free and I have a weird rapport. We don't get along. I think he's a total fucking dipshit beyond redemption, but he knows deep down I'm an honest person. And I told him I would help him figure it out. I took an hour of my time. He figured it out. I put Nephilim Free back on the air. I'm so sorry.
There's a reason though, Steve, that Nephilim Free and with the Christians, there's a reason why Christians did not help him and why atheists helped him, because he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to atheism.
Oh yeah.
If you have it out there espousing what he says, that's more for the team, baby. That's more for the team. Yeah. So Christians don't want him out there, but we want him out there.
He had 12 people watching.
For whatever reason, it seems that Google Hangouts does not work with Netscape Navigator.
Yeah, right. Nice. Have you ever debated Darth, or talked to Darth Dawkins, Aron?
Oh
no,
Darth
is coward. He's a low-level troll. I've seen the name so often, and he's trying so hard, and he's just not believable at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Finally, the last thing I said to him was like, "You don't serve a purpose anywhere," and I think I blocked him.
Our guy who is doing the phylogeny challenge is here. Hello, sir.
He's here. In what sense is he here?
What?
Can you hear us, sir?
Who are you talking to?
I hear something. We have a guest arrived.
Oh, okay.
With a very distinctive voice.
Are you there?
Can you hear us, sir? I hear you clicking. Mr. ID, are you here?
Why is it certain people have so much difficulty?
Why do you
coming
give
into
Mr. Intelligent Design airtime?
Hey,
he doesn't represent anybody.
He's doing the phylogeny challenge, though, Aron.
He says he's writing a science book.
What if he doesn't know what it is?
Science book.
I just want to make sure that if he has any questions, he gets them clear.
Aron might not know this, but this is a true story. Edgar, aka Mr. Intelligent Design, claims to have born with a degree in engineering. He literally claims to have been born with an engineering degree. Don't ask me how.
That, right?
Mr. ID, you don't say that, right?
Yes, he was designed that way. Obviously, it was designed that way.
Hello. Were you born with a degree, Mr. ID? Why am I just not hearing about this?
You were born with a degree in engineering.
No, I didn't say that actually. It was maybe my mistake. And when I introduced myself in Amazon, when I published my 6 science book. But yes, to tell you the truth, I am doing the phylogenetic challenge right now. And the reason why it took too long for me, because I also included Herman May's explanation of phylogeny tree, and his debate with Mr. Ken Hovind. So that's why I'm planning to write them in books, so that when I talk to Mr. Ra, he could first see my books, and then after that we can talk maybe 3 times, and then let's have a good science.
How long before you're ready to unveil it?
You know, I'm not going to read the books myself. I'm going to have professionals in the field read the books. I'm not going to have them do that. If professionals read the books and say, hey, this guy's got a legitimate point, then I'll consider it. If everybody says, as always has been so far, no, this guy hasn't no fucking clue what the hell he's talking about, then we're not going to ever get there.
I can tell you. Hang on, Edgar. First of all, Aron, using the book is really loosely describe what he writes. Book would probably be not the word that I would use for it. However, we had a moderator actually read one of his books. That person has never been the same since. He sweats at night. He shakes. I mean, I'm telling you, he had to seek counseling. It was that bad. Do you guys know who that was?
I mean, Edgar. Here's one that I just received in the mail a couple of days ago. This is from an author that I know. Hector Garcia has written Alpha God. It was an extremely good book. As you can see, it's fairly thick. And I have to read this because I'm going to interview him again. He does extremely good work, and you can verify that what he says is actually true. I don't suspect that Mr. Intelligent Design will ever be able to come up with anything more critically valuable in scientific methods than, say, the TV guide.
Well, why don't you just ask him what the phylogeny challenge is? Edgar, you're writing a book on the phylogeny challenge, so what is the phylogeny challenge?
Yeah, actually, the phylogeny challenge that Aron Ra had made is actually from the word phylogeny. He was trying to explain the relations of from the very first species to the last species. They call it phylogeny tree. And actually, when you are going to watch Herman May's debate with Ken Hovind, Herman May's had shared 2 kinds of phylogeny tree. One is phylogeny trees, and other is I think there are 2. So, and Aron said, he claimed that no one had ever answered the phylogeny challenge because the creation has no differentiation between kinds. He detailed his challenge to his videos, and I detailed it also every word, every sentences, so that and then I tried to explain it little by little, so that anybody could see. Well, I don't know. I am not doing this science because of you. Okay, I am doing this because I think science must be a part of reality. We must know what is reality. So if you don't accept my explanation, I don't care. I don't care.
Well, it doesn't. It's not really up to me, is it? It's not really up to me, is it? I mean, other people are going to be able to see my video on the phylogeny challenge. They're going to be able to understand what those questions are. and I can already tell by your description so far that you don't understand what the challenge even was, but they're going to then read your book, and they will report to me whether you have answered that. And I think you already know that no objective observer is going to read your book and say to me, hey, he made a valid point.
Well, that's the I understand your viewpoint. That is because you are trying to assure yourself that you are right. I understand your position. I understand your position.
Mr. ID or whatever the fuck your name really is.
Edgar.
It's not my opinion, okay? It depends on what is really true. Now, if you have a valid point, because I associate with the scientific community, and they are pedantic people. If I ever say anything wrong in any of my presentations, they will let me know that I've said something wrong, and I had better correct it. This doesn't happen in the religious community. This certainly does not happen in the intelligent design community.
How do they know that you're wrong if they know what is right?
What?
How do they know that you are wrong if they don't know what is right? How do they know what is reality if they don't know what is reality?
How does anybody know what reality is? If I make a statement about reality, that those numbers had better be correct, right? Right?
Goose numbers, what?
If I say, for example, that evolution teaches that life came from a rock, and since we know that, because that's what Ken Hovind says, and we know that no science textbook ever taught that, we know that it is impossible to defend that position. So that's just wrong. The thing Ken Hovind said is just wrong. Everybody can prove that that's just wrong. Is that right?
He debated Ken Hovind, Aron. He debated Ken Hovind too. So all three of you have debated
I get
Ken
that.
Hovind.
I just want to hear. I want to hear him say that. Right? We can objectively prove that what Ken Hovind said about life coming from a rock is wrong. Is that right?
Yeah, I agree that evolution doesn't use abiogenesis. But abiogenesis
that's not what I said. That's not even similar to what I said. That's in no way related to what I said. I said, does evolution teach that we came from a rock?
Of course, I agree with that. That evolution never teaches that. But
never
the
teaches that we
came
from a rock. Okay, so that's something we can objectively verify. It doesn't have anything to do about what my opinion or whether somebody likes Ken Hovind. If he says that evolution teaches that life came from a rock, that's just fucking wrong, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
That's the reason why.
So if I were to say something that also is wrong, then my own side would come to me and say, hey, the thing you said is completely wrong. I would have to offer a correction. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, are you trying to tell me that evolution supporters must also check evolution supporters? Is that circular?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
That is exactly what.
If I were to come on here tonight, hold on a second. Hold on. Wait. If I were to come on here tonight, and I were to say something that evolution teaches, and Bill Ludlow, who's actually working for a paleontology museum, he would say, well, you know what, Aron, that's not actually correct. We then have a conflict. One of us is going to be able to prove that the other is right. And one of us is going to be able to prove the other is wrong. Got it?
No, you didn't get it. You are simply saying
that was a yes or no question.
No, I didn't get it.
If I make a statement about what evolution teaches and I'm incorrect, and Bill Ludlow, who should know better than me, calls me out on that, I'm going to have to deflect. And not only that he's probably right because he's working in the field, I'm then going to have to do the research, and then I might have a slim chance of being able to defend that what I said was actually correct, or I'm more likely going to have to eat crow and say, hey, you know what, Bill, you were right. I was wrong. It's not the first time that's happened. I've had to eat crow before. I don't like it. It doesn't taste good. So I try to make sure that what I say is actually correct. Because I know my own side will call me out. Where your side, the people who believe in magic, have never been able to call me out on anything, ever. It's my own side I have to worry about. Because you guys are inept.
No, Aron, what you're trying to say in science is that a flat earther can also support and peer review the flat earther. Are you using you are simply saying you are simply saying that that it is possible in science that a flat earther can support and peer review another flat earther. Therefore, science. No.
All right. While I get another beer, because I clearly need another drink. Matter of fact, I don't think I need another beer. I'm going to go move on to something stronger. I'm going to let Kyle or Steve or Bill, if he feels up to it. I'm going to let one of these other guys. Because I don't believe anything about you, Mr. Intelligent Design. I believe you are a complete fake. I believe you are nothing but a troll seeking attention because, I don't know, you have a dissatisfying sex life. I don't know what the hell it is, but I don't believe there's any sincerity to you at all. So I'm gonna let Steve and Kyle handle you while I go get a refill.
Well, even though you say that, Aron, even though you say that, Aron, the phylogenetic challenge that you have made is already been solved, has already been answered. Okay.
Oh shit!
I think both our hosts are muted, Bill.
Yeah, what you're saying is you don't think that people should have to check.
I think I'm back.
That with the same interest that they should have to check each other's work. You know what I mean? Like if they're two flat earthers and you both think the Earth is flat, you don't think that it's correct to have another flat earther check behind a flat earther because they have the same interest in the end. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that to make science valid, one opposite must. In other words, for example, one person is a negative, one person is the other positive, and if they talk to the same type subject, and one person who is negative had turned to positive, then the subject is correct. But both negative, they agree together, then they are wrong. In other words, flat Earth supports flat Earth is not science. Creationism support creationism is not science. Somebody must change. Somebody must be in the another side so that
I think I've got this.
It's for review.
Take this, Kyle. I have no idea what the hell he just said.
I've got this. Hold on.
I could even parse that out if I had somebody offered me $1 million. I wouldn't know what to make of that.
Give me a second. We can figure this out.
Okay. Is this gonna be like the theory of dropity?
Yes.
Okay.
So what you're saying is round Earth plus flat Earth equals okay. Round Earth plus round Earth equals okay. Flat Earth plus flat Earth equals no. Okay, so here it is in a very scientific way, right? Round Earth plus flat Earth equals okay. Round Earth plus round Earth, also okay. Flat Earth plus flat Earth, not okay.
Correct.
Yes. Kyle is the Edgar Whisperer. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, somebody actually made sense of it.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that.
I'm lost. I'm still lost.
It's all fun and games. Still
and
have to whip out the whiteboard.
Stuff I'm talking about is confusing. I don't know what the hell that was. But I have a question for Edgar. Hey, Edgar, so Aron's back now, and he has a valid point, and I want you to follow up on it. People in our own communities, when we talk about science, we have dozens and dozens of PhDs, and we will get called out for putting out bad science, as well it should be, right? That's how many of us learn that, hey, we got something wrong, right? And we fix it. Now, you've already admitted that evolution does not teach that we came from a rock. I mean, you have to be pretty well brain dead to think that's what it actually teaches. But you know that your hero, Kent Hovind, who, by the way, you the only person to ever run away from you in a debate was Kent Hovind. He literally left your discussion because he could not handle it any longer. Okay.
Wait. Hovind ran away from Mr. Intelligent Design.
Oh, wait, no, it gets better. He had, and I know this is bullshit. Trust me, I have inside information. He had, quote, technical errors, and he at the very end he couldn't take it anymore, and he was like, "I think I'm having problems. I'm going through a tunnel." It was like that kind of thing. and Edgar's going, "Is he coming? Are you coming back? Kent, you coming back?" but anyways, Kent does teach that evolution came from a rock. Why don't you do you agree that he's actually lying? Not just wrong, because you guys are both young creationists, but he's actually lying.
Well, to answer you, that he is not lying when he talk about abiogenesis. He's not lying when he talk about abiogenesis.
What?
We're not talking about abiogenesis. What the fuck does this guy do with abiogenesis?
What does Kent Hovind ever say in defense of his position that is not a lie? Give me one sentence that he actually said verbatim that was not a lie and was also in defense of his position.
In defense of his position, he said that it is incorrect and not scientific when we claim that life came from non-life, like rocks.
We were talking about evolution, right? We were talking about evolution, right? I get that he doesn't understand the difference even between abiogenesis and spontaneous generation. I get that Kent Hovind doesn't know dick about jack, about squat, about any of those things. But we are talking about evolution, not abiogenesis, right? Do you know the difference?
Of course, yes. I know that.
Okay, good. So sticking with evolution, what has Kent, the convicted fraud Hovind, ever said in defense of his position that was not a lie?
He said correctly that there is no evolution in reality. That's right.
Okay, so he lied. He lied, and we can demonstrate that he lied, and the lie that he told is the thing you're going to tell me is the truth.
No, how could you accuse him of being a liar if he
because there is
find...
definitely, we can definitely verify evolution actually happens, and even Kent Hovind has admitted this. He admits that evolution happens. He admits both microevolution and macroevolution, though he's too fucking stupid to understand what that means. He admits that both of them are real. Hey, do you know what either of those things are?
What he said is
what intelligent design. Do you know what either of those things are?
Yeah, what he claimed actually is that macroevolution is not observable.
And what is macroevolution? What is macroevolution?
Change from one kind to another kind.
There's no such thing. Can you show me?
That's
you
why you
cannot.
need to wait.
I won't ask you to do it because we already know you can't do it. You cannot show any evolutionary lesson from any textbook or any teacher anywhere at any time that ever said one kind because no such thing as a kind ever turned into another kind because there's no such thing as a kind. Got it? That is not what macroevolution is. That is one of the many lies that that's one of the many lies that Kent Hovind told. That's not what macroevolution is. Look up what macroevolution is, and you will find that it does not have anything to do with kinds. There's no such thing as a kind. Got it?
That is the reason why I wrote.
Hovind, as represented by a Hawaiian shirt, plus science equals lies, all the time with a margin of error of 0.0000000%.
All right, now I can't believe I'm wasting my time on Mr. Intelligent Design because I think Mr. Intelligent Design is a comedy act. of very low quality. I don't believe you
No,
for a moment. You
no
cannot be
problem.
real. People cannot
No
be as
problem.
stupid as you and be real at the same time. Okay?
No
This is
problem,
So
Aaron.
let me
No problem. No problem. No problem. But
What
I'm going
is
to publish the
what is
Paladin challenge. I'm going.
macroevolution?
Wait. Please, let me speak.
What is
I'm going to
macroevolution
please
really?
let me speak.
What does evolution
Please,
really teach that macroevolution is? What does it really teach that it is?
wait. Before that, I'm going to publish the Paladin
Before that,
challenge.
you want to bullshit some more. No.
Whether you
What
accept
is
it or not,
what
I
is
don't care.
macroevolution?
You guys,
Whether,
Edgar,
whether you accept
Edgar. Okay, time out. You guys are talking over each other. Nobody can hear you. Edgar, listen to me very carefully. Okay, we don't want rambling. We've heard all your rambling. God knows how many times for years. Let's ask and answer.
I think it's
questions.
endearing.
Aren't ask your question, right? According to what actually is taught in school, right? What does evolution say about macroevolution? What is it as they teach it? You don't have to agree with it. You can say it's bullshit. But how is it actually taught? As what?
Yeah, based on evolution. Okay, not based on reality. Based on evolution. Macroevolution can change one species to another species by using many
Even though that's been directly observed over and over again.
Yeah, even though we've seen that happen in real time.
Even over and over. And even Kent Hovind admits this.
Yes,
Hovind
he admits
himself
this.
admits that speciation is observed.
Correct.
So how can you say
Nobody
that evolution
observed
doesn't
it.
species when he says it does?
Yeah, Edgar.
No, for me,
even creation. Wait, Edgar, listen. Creation.com says to creationists, stop using the argument that speciation doesn't happen. They tell you speciation happens on like 3 different pages of their site because the creationist narrative model, the Barron nomology, requires speciation. So if speciation didn't exist, not only would you not have evolution, you would not have creationism's approach to evolution. Do you get that,
that's
Edgar?
wrong.
You have to have
No, I get it.
either way.
I get it, but I can accept it. I cannot. The explanation is wrong. Totally wrong. It is not evolution.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
It is wrong to explain the change in biological world. It is wrong to explain the relationness in biology. It is to say that they are all evolution. They are all wrong.
He's cutting out so bad I can't tell what he's saying. Can somebody translate what he's saying, please?
I think I'll translate. Go ahead, Edgar.
Okay, it is wrong to say that it is evolution when you see change.
Yeah, it's cutting out too much. Okay, so let's say you're cutting out, but Edgar, you said, and we're just going to go straight logic here. You said macroevolution is speciation, one species into another. Those are your words. Then you said speciate. You're willing to admit speciation exists, which means what? You agree that macroevolution exists by your own definition. Do you see the logic on that? Does that follow to you, Edgar? It doesn't take a genius here.
No, Steve, I have my own model in biological world.
I don't give a shit about your model.
You have your own made up
logic. That's why the reason why I know it is wrong, because I have my own model and explanation in biological world.
So this is the reason why we know that you don't know that your model is wrong, because you don't know what the hell your model even is. Why are we talking to this guy?
Well, we do have to go because I have to finish these super chats. But Edgar, we do thank you for coming in and
thank you.
and being Edgar.
Okay, last words. Last words.
Yeah,
thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. To tell you the truth, whether Aron or whether you accept it or not, I'm going to publish the Unit challenge so that anybody could see it in details. Okay, so
I'm going to bet right now that you don't even know what the challenge is, but we're going to let other people point that out to you after you've published it.
Just read it. Just read it. Okay, and let's talk.
I'm not going to read it.
Edgar,
be like Daniel.
Or be like David
other
and
people
Goliath.
are going to read it. And if you actually have something, those people will come to me and say, hey, he actually has something. But what's really going to happen is people are going to say, damn, that idiot didn't even know what the challenge was.
You do it. Publish it, Edgar. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you,
thank
Edgar.
you.
And Edgar,
let's
you
see.
really do believe all this, don't you, Edgar? I mean, you honestly tell Aron.
He can't.
You honestly
There's
believe
no
this.
way he really believes that.
Well, hang on one second. Edgar, even though you change your story now, you do have a degree in engineering, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you don't know calculus, right?
Yeah, I know calculus, but I forgot it.
No, you don't know
I
calculus
didn't
because
use
we've
it.
already been through you. You didn't know what the derivative of x
No,
squared was.
Oh, we've got to go. Edgar's going to get fired up
Okay,
again.
so please ask
Edgar,
questions.
If you
Okay.
don't
Edgar,
know
we
the
don't have
derivative of
time.
x squared,
We don't have time.
I'm telling you right now.
We love you though, Edgar. Be good.
So okay, thank you. So just watch. I just read my
Aron, he
sign.
doesn't know calculus, and he claims to be an engineer. What else do you need to know?
How the fuck?
He was born with it.
I'm not. Do you think
Dave,
I'm kidding? He was born with a degree. He said.
Dave, will you play Lady Gaga?
He literally is not one of the pages that he was born with it. He was born in Manila. He was born in Manila with a degree in engineering. That's what it said.
Well, listen, Kim Jong Il was born able to do hole-in-ones, and he doesn't shit. So people were born with superpowers like that.
The only
Steve,
guy who can beat Kim Jong Il at golf
would be Mr. Eddie.
See,
He has
exactly.
experiments that you could do to like with eggs to get it in the hole.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Jim Hill says 1 cent for every face palm in an average Kent video. Love the show, guys. By the way, he donated $5, so that is 500 face palms for Jim. Wear an oven mitt, Jim.
I gotta make a shameful admission here. I mean, being on this show is about the only social life I have anymore.
Listen,
I gotta admit,
you're in good company with that. You're in good company with that.
All I do is
research.
That's it.
It's funny because this past year at Christmas, the year before this Christmas, I wasn't on YouTube yet. So there's completely different Kyles at these two parties, right, with my family. So the year before last, it's average. I'm at a regular job. I'm regular talk. Blah 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 blah. Fast forward to this past year at Christmas, I'm at the table and I'm going, why isn't anybody calling anybody out for bullshit reasons yet? He just said this and nobody's saying anything. They're just all being happy right now. They're all singing Kumbaya. Nobody's yelling at each other. This show has literally made me to where anytime I'm in a conversation where people are having normal back and forth, I'm waiting for the explosives to go off or for somebody to go, that's bullshit. That's not right. It will take it out of you completely.
Okay. Well, I do enjoy every time I'm on this show. I do, because it's nice to take a break from perpetual homework, because otherwise that's all my life is.
How many more videos do you have in your this was a question that I got the other night on Sunday after we had already closed out, but how many more, I wrote it down, how many more videos do you have in the classification of species?
I think the systematic classification of life is probably going to end on episode number 46. Though if I planned this better, it would have been 50.
That's a lot. That's like a library.
Yeah, this is the molecules to man. So all of those 50 clades are in between molecules and man.
How many hours of that do you think it is, like total?
I'm loving this series, and I'm really embarrassed about this. This is one of the really good ideas that my wife had when she told me to do this, and I didn't think it would play well. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just automatically object to whatever she suggests. And then I was into the second episode of this before I realized that this is the greatest series I've ever done, because it's a series no one else has ever done, period. It needed to be done forever ago, but nobody ever did it. And so I'm delighted that I'm actually doing that now. And I love this series to death. I like this, what I'm doing right now as far as the systematic classification of life. I like this series better than I liked the foundational falsehoods of creationism. And I'm so embarrassed that when she suggested it, I'm like, that's not going to work very well. I'm so stupid.
I told you that I told you about that friend that I had that I went to college with that is now a teacher and uses your videos to actually teach in his classroom. And I didn't know this, but like he literally saw me on YouTube and saw that you were on the channel, and then called me and it was like, "Is that the Aron Ra?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You have no idea how much he has changed the way that I even teach in my classroom." So he actually uses your videos to do his teaching in real time. So that's really cool.
That's outstanding. I was reprimanded by a teacher once upon a time when I did the cuneiform cladogram confirmation or construction. I think it was because I let myself go off on Ray Comfort and call him out with a couple of not safe for work words. And I got a number of complaints from parents that had it not been for that, they would have happily shown that video to their students. And so now I realized that I need to remake those two videos. The filiform the companion said it was like the evolution of dogs, the evolution of cats. And that's probably what I'm going to label it next time, explaining how evolution happens, how subspecies happen, and all of that, because people don't get that. And dogs and cats are the best examples to give for that, especially when people say, well, then nobody's ever seen a dog give birth to a cat. I can address all of that. So I will remake
That's
both
true statement,
of those videos.
Though. That is true.
Yeah.
They have it.
I will remake both of those videos in a more appropriate way that parents can feel responsible for, and teachers can feel responsible using these or showing these videos to their students.
That's good. I think that's a good call. As an aside, do you guys just like, this is just your opinion, do you guys think that Ray Comfort knew the innuendo he was doing when he made the banana reference, or do you think he's that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I think you knew. I think it was planned. I mean,
Did
I think Ray Comfort
that
is
the
banana
banana fit perfectly in his asshole? I bet.
Yeah. Did he know what he was? Yeah. Okay.
But before we go off air, I think Bill, can you
I have more super chats.
Oh, okay. Let me. Bill's got an announcement before. So don't forget that.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, it didn't happen for this show. I was trying to work on it for this show, but next month.
Wait. Save it to the end. Hang on. Let's do the super chats first.
Okay.
And that'll be
okay. I'll speak to these real quick. James Hogue says, if you were to have one, what would Ra's razor be? Okay, even I have a razor, Aron, so you have to have a razor.
If you don't know it, you can't show it.
Boom. Okay.
These are. Sorry, I said that backwards. If you can't show it, you don't know it. That's the razor, because everybody wants to assert that what they really believe, that what they claim that they know for a fact is true, but they don't know it, and it's not a fact. It meets neither of those criteria. So if you can't show it, meaning it's objectively verifiable, then you don't know it.
Excellent. And for I apologize, but these are it looks like Asian characters, and there's no message with it. So thank you for the super chat, but I have no clue what that says, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Ken Hovind CPA, which by the way means doesn't that automatically means he's unemployed? Football sucks. Thank you, Ken Hovind CPA. The double N22, also with a super chat with no message. Thank you. The Amazing Zed. It's moron poetry night on the NonSequitur show. Here's some poetry for you. Roses are red, violets are blue. Thanks for the super chat, but also fuck you. Lawrence Carrington says, I love you all so much. Please continue this so that I know sanity doesn't exist in this life. Seriously, I need you folks in my life. Well, we are in your life, Lawrence, so no need to fear. Vegan Cap Libertarian says, if we are all made in God's image, why aren't we all invisible? That's a good question. It's a very good question, actually. You win. Jeff Green, debate a creation Scientologist. YouTube gold. Would that even exist? Could that even exist? A Scientologist or a creation
I don't think
Scientologist? Yeah.
I think you could. No, I think you can. Scientology allows for pretty broad. They just care about your money. They don't give a shit about what you believe.
It's Xenu, though. It's all Xenu.
I've heard Scientologists believe in Genesis. Scientologist Christians. So that's a very open religion.
Yeah, exactly.
Fat Photog says, "Thank you for being so very pretty." Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh,
he's obviously not talking about me.
Vegan Atheist Coral says, "I want to help fund this documentary. When you get a crowdfunding project together, let us know so we can help." So there you go, guys. You've already got people.
That's Bill Ludlow's documentary, and I want to be a part of that.
You've already got people wanting to be a part of it. Almost done. Puffalophagus, Aron Ra, the TV guide has predictive power, though. Verlian says, Mr. ID doesn't know what science is. How can he possibly know how it's implemented? Dargesh 890 says the scientific community is brutal, but that is what makes it so incredibly strong. Very good point. Caro Genie C, by the way, loved your picture. Beers to the 4 sane guys. Kickapoo Joy Juice to Edgar. Kickapoo Joy Juice. That sounds.
I don't know what Kickapoo is, but I've heard Joy Juice, just not used in association.
Kickapoo.
I was going to raise.
Well, Kickapoo was a song by Jack Black.
Sigfrido Sarabia says, "Can I say it's cannibalism during eating sushi?" Sure. Oh, he's making a joke because we came from fish. That's what he's saying. Yeah. Is it cannibalism?
I get the cladistic joke.
Yeah.
That we're all weird monkey fish.
Yeah. Brian G says, "Here, take my money and shut Edgar the hell up. Your wish is granted." Sigfrido Sarabia says, "What are physical similarities? A person and half a banana." What are the similarities between a person and a banana? Sigfrido, go and watch the Aron Ra and Kent Hovind debate where it started it all, and that is touched on. You're going to want to take banana though and replace it with pine tree, and you're going to want to take person and replace it with elephant, and you'll get it. I look forward to using Aron's updated videos when I start teaching. That is from Dargesh 890. So there you go. You already got people wanting to do the documentary and use your videos in the classroom.
And real quick, you guys have razors. I have a law, which is higher. McCrae's law. You guys may not be aware of this, but it's fatalistic because I'm fatalist. The amount of hope one has left for humanity is inversely proportional to the amount of time one spends on YouTube or to the internet and the broadest application of the law. So the more time you spend on YouTube, the less hope you have for humanity, because that is a law that is always hold true objectively in all times and all places.
Unless you're PewDiePie.
I also have a law, but unfortunately can't remember off the top of my head what it is.
You should remember the law. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you both gentlemen for joining us tonight. This was awesome. Do you want to take a second to plug your Patreons and that thing, because you guys need to support these gentlemen because they are doing really good work, and they rely on you guys to make that happen. So Aron, you want to?
Bill, you go first.
Well, yeah, I'm a fledgling YouTuber. I don't do this for a living or anything. I do it as a hobby, but my channel is Bill Ludlow. And if anybody's interested in hearing a little more detail on the story I told tonight, we just had the premiere of a video tonight on that channel, about 25 minutes, that goes into a little more detail and shows some of the evidence. So I do have a page called creationsciencefiction.com. That's my website. So check it out. I have a blog on there too. I'm not real big in YouTube. Again, please subscribe to my channel. I hear I'm getting big in Japan on Facebook. But other than that, anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure joining you guys. Being a pleasure, part of this community. And I hope to see more of you again soon. Can I tell about what I was telling you guys?
Yeah, tell me your tell you now.
Yeah,
Well, we almost had a. We almost had a.
I'll save it up to Aron then.
tonight.
Oh yeah, save that for the very end. Let Aron go, and then we're going.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. You got it. Go on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say that Bill gave me a guided tour of the museum that he works for, and it was a brilliant presentation that he did. I was very pleased to have been part of that tour. Thank you, Bill. As for me, I am a full-time activist. I do need all the support I can get. Please, if you're interested in anything that I do, or any of the videos that you've seen have brought you pleasure, or if you want me to get involved more in the politics in your area, I'm absolutely happy to do that. Please support me at patreon.com/ARONRA.
Excellent. And once again, thank you both for joining us. Bill, you can take us out, sir.
Well, we don't have the date set yet, but I've been corresponding visual over the last week or so, and he almost made it here tonight, but a schedule conflict prevented that. But I'm going to be appearing on the show next month, talking about the track work that I've done, the discovery of the pre-dinosaur reptile tracks, and Lawrence Krauss will be joining us also, talking about some upcoming projects that he has. So hopefully maybe we can get Aron back on here, and we'll have a good show that night. So
excellent.
So we're gonna get Lawrence Krauss to come on. Yay!
Yeah, he's already agreed to do the shows. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah! Wow, how'd you swing that, Bill? You got moves.
Facebook friends who we've corresponded over the years.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, excellent. I look forward to that. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow here, where we will be talking with Mr. Batista about near-death experiences and if those are real. Till then.